It was the season finale of Rings of Power Season 2, Christopher.
Yes.
And did you watch it?
I
you do
did.
your homework? Okay, good.
Today,
you know,
actually.
Sometimes people don't show up on time and they don't have their
I would never do that, Steve. And if I did, I would edit it out so no one could ever know.
I thought this episode was pretty normal, just okay. As a season finale, it was kind of a little lackluster. Yeah, it was fine. As you said, are we getting to season 3 in probably 3 years, maybe? So I honestly don't know if I want to do another play-by-play on the podcast if that happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But I had some notes on this one. I feel like this one was pretty good because it's more action-heavy, some good stuff going on. I liked the bit where Durin, at the beginning, he just straight up does a kamikaze against the Balrog for absolutely no reason.
You were just getting stronger, and then it's a nice heartfelt moment, and then he's like Matthew McConaughey in Reign of Fire.
Yeah. I have down, I don't know what his plan was, because he's like 40 feet away from the Balrog.
It's like and the other guys with Samuel L. Jackson
and for the bushes.
And the Rock. Yeah.
It was a cool shot, I'm not gonna lie, and the Balrog looked cool, but it was a little disappointing because, like, if I look back to the first trailer of Rings of Power, you see the Balrog at the end, and you're like, "Oh, that's gonna be cool." Season 1, you didn't see it for more than a second. Season 2, you saw it for maybe 3 seconds. So I'm like, "Quit teasing me! Give me some proper interaction with this Balrog."
Now, Steve,
cool.
You're more of a Lord of the Rings guru than I.
Sure.
Is there one Balrog? Or are there multiple? What are we talking here?
In the time of Morgoth, instead of orcs, he would use Balrogs to fight the masses of the army. So, back when Morgoth was in charge, and he had his employees were giant Balrogs and some orcs. So there was a bunch before Sauron took power, but since then, they kind of fell into darkness, and there aren't a whole lot of them. So this one's has a lot of significance because it was Durin's bane in the Khazad-dûm and stuff. But to answer your question, there aren't any of them left. This is kind of the last one, pretty much.
Are we assuming this is Gandalf's Balrog? Is this the Balrog of Morgoth?
That's the assumption, yes, unless they change something in Season 3.
Are they in the mines of Moria, these folks?
I think they're in Khazad-dûm, no?
Is that the same as Moria?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm too lazy to look it up.
Now, I just had a little flashback to, I remember Season 1, Galadriel, she's chasing after Sauron, and they get attacked by something in a cave. Was that
That was an ice troll.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Were those a thing, or they just add that in there, kind of like...
I know there's trolls, but I don't know if ice trolls, maybe. They're probably in there, maybe. We'll give them a
Yeah, it's fun to see the Balrog for a few seconds with his little whip. Is that just like a part of them?
No, he's got a utility belt.
Okay.
Just like Batman. He's like, hold on, guys. Let me just get
out. Let me press.
Hold on. Give me a second. Let me get it out.
Which one's X?
I had some notes here. I was greatly disappointed, and it shouldn't have been a shocker to me. I was just praying to the old gods and the new that they wouldn't do this, and they made the wizard Gandalf and just UGH. Am I right, Christopher? I mean, you saw it coming a mile away. We all saw it coming, and it was just kind of a waste of time to have this mystery box in front of us. We're like, everyone knows what's in that box, right? It's Gandalf, right? And they're like, is it Gandalf? Is it really Gandalf? Or, yeah, it's him. And then I was just disappointed, man, because the problem with that is he's a good actor. The guy who plays Gandalf, like, he's doing a good job. But you already have, like, this iconic character just ingrained in people's minds and in the zeitgeist that everyone knows Gandalf, and Ian McKellen is Gandalf. And so to try to add to that, I don't know, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. But I feel like it should have just made its own thing, and he should have been one of the Blue Wizards to just separate themselves from Peter Jackson things and expand the lore, you know, because we've only ever seen 3 wizards on screen, and you could have been like, hey, this is a Blue Wizard. You never seen one of these guys before. He's different than Gandalf and XYZ. But they didn't do that, and I was just a little disappointed, but I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it was already pretty much confirmed Gandalf in Season 1, and then when I was talking to you throughout these, you're making it, it's not technically Gandalf, and I'm like, it's
wishful thinking.
It's Gandalf. I mean, he's with hobbitses, and then you're making me self-doubt myself here. Just like, obviously, the other wizard, Saruman.
It's probably Saruman at this point.
They're
He's just known as the
gonna
Dark Wizard.
pull, I don't know, Senior Chang, where he gets Changnesia and then he becomes good for a little bit.
Yeah. No, I thought this episode is fine. It's good. It's a little lackluster. I always forget that Isildur's in this show.
Yeah.
He showed up. I was like, oh yeah, that little nerd Theo's here too. I forgot about him.
Something that always bugs me, they did it in this episode where it's just like, oh, someone brings a paper and they're just like, oh, this paper says she works with Sauron. Let's kill them all. And I'm like, does no one just question? I wish my parents were like that oblivious. Like, oh, yeah, this report card that says I got all A's here.
Yeah.
Something that also, I mean, maybe you can defend them. Do you want to play defense for the show here, or you want to trash on with me?
I'll try to play defense.
So
depends on what it is.
Every single preview or whatever, recap from the last, they're always like showing Galadriel talking with whatever the high elf guy, and he's like, Sauron can see in your mind, and then she's like, I can see in his too, or whatever. And seems like he's got it in her mind, he's got it in Celebrimbor's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
you talking Sauron?
Yes.
He's got his grubby little sausage fingers everywhere.
But he can't figure out where the rings are. First of all, like he's infested Celebrimbor, and he's like torturing him, trying to get the information out of him, but still somehow can't get that out of his mind. And then also the person that has the rings, Galadriel, he can't get that. Like I feel like they make this big old deal that he knows what they're doing, but he still somehow doesn't figure it out. You see what I'm saying here, Steve? Am I making sense to you? Can you defend this?
Yes. You're talking he doesn't know where like the 9 rings are.
Yeah.
I plead the 5th.
Okay,
I choose not to defend anymore.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Did you like the part where they say Lord of the Rings? That was kind of cool.
Yeah. He's like, he said it.
The Lord of the Rings. Oh, he said it. There's a lot of Galadriel in this episode.
She gets Han Solo'd at the end of this season. She gets stabbed, almost dies, and you know what I mean? Know. Down for commish.
But I just like... Has she ever been normal? She's just, she's always over the top on everything. Like, you will not defeat them. What? How did you, it's either she's always mad or super like dramatic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I just have one scene where she's like normal. I don't know.
Yeah. She was kind of normal towards the very end when she got stabbed, and then Gil-galad's like, hey, man, you're kind of pleasant right now, so let's keep it that way. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah, and then she said something. I remember that, and then I feel like she did something else. She's like, oh, he will pay, and there whatever. I kind of already forgot, even though I watched it like 2 hours ago.
Do you have any positives about this, Christopher, this episode?
Positives?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to complain more about Galadriel, but are you done here, man?
You can complain more.
She does the thing where she's like, oh, wait, Sauron, this was your plan from the beginning. Like, yeah. Of course. You idiot. How have you not learned anything? I don't know. It's just me wanting to punch the screen every 5 minutes. But positive, I'd say if you take the last 4 episodes and you compare them to the first 4 episodes of the season, it's night and day. Like, it's a lot better. Because those first 4 episodes were so boring and just a chore. These are still boring and chores, but they sprinkle in actual like action and plot to kind of chew on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not just constant vegetables and chard and lettuce or whatever. Yeah. That's all I got here, Steve.
I will say a funny story. I was watching this and then I fell asleep to TBH and I woke up to the sound of Adar getting stabbed in the chest.
You were going to say you woke up in the credit song. Whatever. God. Sorry, Adar chest stabbed.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, spoiler alert. I was like, let me take that back just a little bit.
You did rewind, huh?
Yeah, I did just because I was like, I need to know what happened. I thought it was kind of interesting, the parallel, seeing, the very first scene of Sauron getting killed and then Adar, that same thing happens to Adar. It's like George Lucas would say, it's like poetry. It rhymes, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And then a positive I did have, Chris, was I thought Charlie Vickers was pretty good overall as Sauron. I liked his kind of... I wish it would have... Galadriel. I wish they would have kind of as weird as it sounds, dragged it out, like his manipulation of Celebrimbor a bit more, you know? Because
Yeah.
like it was like one episode, he was like all tight and good, and then the next, Celebrimbor was like, hey, what have you done to me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
A little
I
bit?
can't believe you've done this.
Yeah. But I thought Charlie Vickers was pretty good as Sauron. He plays that kind of evil and gracefulness at the same time. I did like season 2 more than season 1. That's a positive, I'll say. But that's all I got to say about it. I don't really want to talk
Let's
about it.
move on and
Chris.
not speak of it for another 3 years.
Yeah. Thanks for watching these highlights of our episode of the Stale Popcorn Podcast. If you want to listen to the full episode, check out the links in the description. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you do that with your favorite YouTuber, I'm sure they would appreciate it too. Thanks, and have a great day.
Popcorn?